Well, good afternoon, everybody. Um, this is Truth Seeker here, and I just wanted to announce that I have decided to make another YouTube channel. As I've mentioned in the past, mathematics is a topic that I really enjoy. I like the exercise of thinking. As an avocation, it's a cheap avocation. And if you enjoy mathematics and problem solving, then please check out my website or YouTube site, my new YouTube site. It's under the moniker of Math Mann, two separate words, MATH, Mann, capital MANN. Both of them separated, math separated from man, so that it's not together. And I posted up one video, and that is a derivation that I made for the Euler identity, e to the ix equals -1. I saw that come up on one of the video lists that when I opened up YouTube the other day, a proof for e to the ix equals -1. And so I thought I'd try the problem out myself using my level of knowledge of mathematics. And I did indeed obtain that result, plus I derived the Euler equation as well as the Euler identity using this method. And so I made a PowerPoint presentation on how I arrived to that result, and I'm uploading it right now as we speak onto my new YouTube site, Math Mann. and I hope maybe some of you might check it out and provide comments, give me ideas on other methodologies. In mathematics, there's always a way of obtaining a result. Sometimes there are numerous ways of obtaining a result. Some of them shorter, more elegant, more direct. Others more obscure. But mathematics is pure logic. It's a intellectual exercise that is based and founded in logic, and it sharpens and hones critical thinking when applied correctly. Again, in the branch of mathematics like statistics, you can always lie with statistics. That's why I keep this little book, How to Lie with Statistics. Now, I don't try to lie with statistics, but it's helpful to know the tricks that people pull with statistics and how they present them, and be wary of these ploys that are used to deceive, and the trickery that's employed in statistical presentation. And that's something that's very useful when you're looking at something like Watchtower Statistics. Like one of the things that I mentioned in my last video, how when I completely fabricated the number of hours solely based on the number of publishers and the expected hours for publishers, the number of pioneers, number of expected hours for pioneers, and auxiliary pioneers, totaling them all up, over a 60-year period, and then comparing them against the reported hours, the actual reported hours that Watchtower reports, and getting an almost one-to-one correlation, almost all the way. It just with a tight like 0.998 correlation coefficient, something fishy is going on there, and you can't trust a statistic like the number of hours put in. And I've heard more than one Watchtower member mention that uh, they put in their reports the hours that were expected and not necessarily the hours they actually put in. So these are the types of things that um, a little book like that is useful to have. Um, but it's exercising critical thinking, how to use numbers, how to take a look at things from a different perspective, and what kinds of perspectives there are in order to be able to um, come up with a conclusion of your own. So anyway, I don't want to make this a long dialogue. I just wanted to announce that I'm uh, coming out with a new YouTube channel. I expect to be posting things from time to time as I'm moved to put things down, things like trigonometry, some calculus, um, exponentials and logarithms, mathematics like that, some algebra, maybe some algebraic problems. I'm not sure. I thought about doing it in some sort of a progressive manner, but that's just going to be too much of a project. I think I'm just going to throw stuff up as it moves me. So anyway, it's not going to be something that's high pressure. I'm just going to put stuff up that I think was fun to do and something that some people may just enjoy seeing. So anyway, this particular problem again is the Euler identity, and I did use a little bit of calculus. It's the one thing that one objective that I really have with this site is that I think in too many cases, mathematicians when they uh, put up problems and are teaching um, a subject, they leave too many gaps, huge gaps, and use concepts and not explain the concepts very well. For example, in calculus, both Newton and Leibnitz, German mathematician, were given credit for discovering calculus. That was a big controversy, and the way things ended up getting settled is that both of them independently were given credit for coming up with the calculus. Well, um, these what isn't understood when you're a student in college taking a calculus class, the teacher will never tell you that calculus was not on a sound theoretical footing for its first 200 years or 150 years. It was used, it was derived, it was developed, but it wasn't theoretically proven to be a sound approach until Bernhard Riemann. They're always German. Leonard Euler was German. Bernhard Riemann. The Riemann problem is one of the Millennium problems. If anybody can sort that out, they can win $1 billion. Riemann put calculus on a theoretical footing. In fact, the Fundamental Theorem of Calculus was devised by Riemann. They called Riemann Sums. And he used an entirely different approach for proving the validity of calculus than Isaac Newton's idea of fluxions or infinitesimals. He used the concept of limits. And it wasn't until 1967 that Newton's idea of infinitesimals, or fluxions as he called them, was proven to be valid. 1967. And mathematicians won't tell you this. They won't tell you that calculus was used and didn't have a sound philosophical or theoretical basis for hundreds of years, and yet science used it and progressed on its basis for all of that time. But mathematicians don't want you to know that. They want you to think that it suddenly hit Newton with this brainstorm that the language that they use, that the function must be continuous on its domain before it can be, if it's to be differentiable, it has to be continuous on its domain, whether or not it is an open or closed domain. They use all of this crazy fancy language, which all came later and becomes extremely confusing to the student, and they don't teach it the way Newton would have done it himself, which would have been in tables rather than memorizing how to do a derivative for a particular function. So the mathematicians deliberately make things harder than they are supposed to be, and elegant. That's what they're looking for, elegance. But anyway, I want people to be able to see mathematics from a holistic point of view, and I try not to skip methods or steps. I try not to skip any step, making the presumption that somebody's going to understand how I got to the next step. And so I tried to provide detail there to show the logical progression of thought and how I went from A to B, which is not always something that mathematics teachers do. They want you to do it on your own, and if it took 1,000 years or a couple thousand years between Archimedes and Newton to develop calculus, what makes the mathematician think that you are going to make that conceptual leap that it took 2,000 years for Newton to make? So this is what I try to avoid when I present something with my mathematics. I try to make it so that all of the steps are there, and that the person, there's no conceptual break that will leave the individual hanging. So with that said, I hope you check out my other channel. I will be posting from time to time. I think mathematics is ideal. Not only do I find it interesting, I think it's an insight into the human mind. We are the only creature on this planet that has the ability to think in such complex and abstract ways, and I think it's beautiful. I think it shows the beautiful way in which the human beings think that is different from any other creature that we know. So anyway, I don't want to make this too long, and I bid you so long, and I will post the link to my problem in the comment section, or not in the comment, but in the description box below this video. So anyway, have a nice weekend. I may make another video this weekend on more in line with the subject matter with this website. I didn't want to, as much as I was tempted to put mathematical problems on this website, I didn't think that my viewership would appreciate that at all because they may not have any interest in math at all, not like me. But anyway, I wish you all well, and I just want to let you know that I have this there. Maybe there's somebody you know who is struggling with math. Uh, if you have a problem, let me know. I'll work through it, see if I can work through it, and I'll post it up on the on my new YouTube channel. So anyway, again, Math Man. This is I'm Truth Seeker Atheist on this channel and Math Man on the other. So anyway, I wish you all well. Thank you.